certain guys, as you said, have that knack, and they're trying to keep them away from the action, away from the ball. But the best ones have that overwhelming desire, that overwhelming need to get to the football and make it happen, and that he does.
Well, let's gaze our attention as the offense takes the field on Rashad Penny. The passing game, they've had more success there than the running game. Maybe something they game plan for.
How come they didn't tell us about it?
Because they wanted to keep it a secret.
We did ask, didn't we? But I think what happened in this one is they've realized that they've established the run pretty well, and teams are going to key on that. They thought they could open it up and have success through the air, and that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah, they've had success, at least so far, here in the second quarter.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Penny. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give them a new set of downs.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
They keep it with Penny on 1st down. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. Two minutes to play here in the first half. Back to the booth right after this. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. They need to get this to the 24 on 3rd down.
Here we go now. Green.
Back to throw here. Complete to the tight end, Kittle, over the middle of the field. 60 catches for him now on the year. This last one, a 1st down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
This quarterback now 12 of 15 throwing the ball, 80% so far, and it's 1st and 10.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90. Leopard. Leopard.
On play action, they'll throw. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
From the 21, it's 2nd and 10.
Now let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
They go back to the ground now with Penny. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Came out in a power set, but that only served to put more men in the box. And guess what? If you're going to do that, you've got to win up front, right? Your offensive guys have got to beat the defenders. They lost all leverage on that play.
The Niners on 3rd down. They've had good success, 5 for 8 to this point. This is 3rd down and 12.
Here we go now. Green.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. Now here's a timeout defensively coming from the Cardinals, as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. The defense, they got a little bit. The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's doing his thing. He's got some good yardage, but his team right now in the second quarter, 0 points.
Just not a complete formula. Half of it's there, being able to run the ball and set the tone. Wonder if they may have to go to some play action, throw off the run game, and try and get the ball in the end zone.
I was just going to ask you that same thing. Maybe you use that run now to set up the pass, right?
I would think so, because the run has been very effective for them.
And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout, as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number one. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. And we've got movement by one of the big boys up front for Arizona. Flag comes in.
False start, offense.
And that'll set them back 5.
Still second down.
Now after the false start, here's 2nd and 7.
Let's go.
And they'll go on the ground. Space to maneuver at the 40. And he'll take it to the 43-yard line. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. On 1st and 10, Watts drops it off to Ajayi. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. So we have reached halftime with our score 10-0. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman.
Okay, Brandon, time for a sprint to the finish, as it's time to get you caught up with what's happening around the NFL here in a pivotal Week 15. We'll start our tour out in the City of Angels, Los Angeles, and that one closing in on halftime with the Cowboys out on top. The Cowboys still in a dogfight, but this would be a good victory for them if they could get it. From there, we head east to Minnesota to check on the Vikings at home at US Bank Stadium. And they were losers in that ball game to the visiting New Orleans Saints. Derek Carr, 4 touchdown passes in the victory. Lastly, let's get you to MetLife Stadium to see what's happening with the Giants at home in East Rutherford. And they were winners in that one as they defeat the visiting Seattle Seahawks. Christian Kirk, 2 touchdown catches in the victory. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a defensive struggle. Which offense can break through in the second half? To find out, let's hand it over to our broadcast team of Brandon Gotten and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone. One back for quarter number 3. Both Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So here's the Cardinals offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution, or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. Well, the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down here at about the 23-yard line. Just a yard there, so it brings up a tough 3rd and 12.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run in the pass, but in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right, it might go to them in this game.
I like that, MVU. Well done.
All right, here we go. Green.
Off play action. Watts. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off by Tavon Young. And a super return as he gets us all the way down inside the 25-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Here's a look at the 49ers offense as they make their way out for their first possession of the second half. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try and increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
All right, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
They'll look to throw. And he's going to have the hook up to Sutton. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. A 5-yard gain, and now they're set up 1st and goal.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tougher, guys trying to get to the football.
Green 39.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Bo Scarborough, his first touchdown on the year. And the Niners take advantage of field position on the turnover to cash this one in. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
Gold to add the extra point. Gold able to tack on the extra point. And that makes our score 17-0.